different types of weird people, in my opinion. There's the quirky, silly, funny, unconventional weird. I consider myself that type of weird. That's the good weird. What I'm going to be speaking about today is the bad weird. The bad weird is the pettiness, the jealousy, the hateful, and the entitled. Those are the weird folks that we have to shield ourselves from and clock them and learn how to stay sane around. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's been so many times in my life where I've had to avoid these weird people. There's been so many times in my life where I've had to clock these weird people, put them in their place, and get them out of my personal life. Get them out of close proximity to me, because see, that's going to be your key right there. They can't have close proximity to you because they don't know how to handle it. They like to sabotage. They like to inflict pain. They like to project onto you, or they just have a field day when they get close to you. So my advice is to get them away from you, whether you have to step away or whether you have to just put some distance there. It has to be done. Weird people will get around you and they'll try to set these traps for you. I often see it. And these traps, if you're aware, they don't work. And then weird people get mad when the traps don't work. But the 3 traps that come to mind are strong opinions. They'll get around you and say, well, I don't think this is such. And, they'll talk against everything that you've brought to light. That's one trap. Another trap is the sarcasm. Now, they may say sarcastic things toward you, or they may say sarcastic things within earshot, making sure that you hear it. They'll say it to someone else. And then the third trap is a disinterest. They'll turn their head away or turn their nose up or look away as if they're not paying you any attention when you're talking. Oh, but they hear everything you say. And sometimes if you're lucky, people will come back and tell you what they've said. And they have all the questions in the world. Well, why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? Well, why did she say this? Which lets you know, oh, they're listening. But see, that's one of the many traps that they try to set to throw you off course. Just as you are working hard to hit all your goals and mind your business and be successful, weird people are often working overtime to set their traps and to sabotage. Also, weird people feel stuck. But being stuck is a mindset. And I know a lot of times weird people will get mad at your optimism and faith. They'll get mad because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't like that. They get mad because you see a brighter day ahead, or you hold on to your faith. They don't like that because they want you to feel stuck and they want you to feel like it's over for you. I will never forget, this happened on 2 jobs in particular that I can remember that I had left. On these 2 different jobs, both times, I've witnessed once some of the people learned that I was leaving, they stopped speaking to me. It was so weird. And it's because they had a monitoring spirit. It's because they knew I would no longer be in close proximity. So they couldn't see what I was doing, couldn't see what I was wearing. I didn't feel valued or appreciated on those particular jobs. And because of that, I got out of there. And those people who stopped speaking to me, I know for a fact because some of them used to talk to me, and some of them used to talk around me. And they said that they didn't feel valued or appreciated either. But yet they stayed. They stayed on that job because of the stuck mindset. And the only thing that I can come to terms with and believe is that they were upset because I was leaving. Why else would they just abruptly stop speaking to me, walk past me in the hall with their nose turned up, not say anything? I say good morning, they quickly turn away, act like they don't see me. It's weird behavior, but it only tells me that weird people get mad at your optimism and faith, and they get mad at your drive, and they get mad when you don't have the mindset of staying stuck in a situation. They're mad because they feel stuck in a situation, when the reality is that no one is truly stuck. It's just their mindset. So that's one situation. Another thing that I tell my clients is you have to stop being a passive participant in your life. You call the shots. You don't let anyone run up into your life and tell you what you should or should not be doing. Okay? We are grown. You can start over at any time. You can abruptly start over at any age. Because, see, most of our limits are in our minds and our thoughts. You have more control over your life than you think you have. Don't let anybody come up in your life and start setting those traps and making you believe and think that you can do better, because the reality is you can. You have to demand respect, you have to command your place, and you have to stand your ground. And when people say things or try to set traps against you, you got to clock it and call it out. Or don't. Okay? Sometimes you can call it out. Or sometimes you can just mentally just know that you're not with it, you're not trying to hear it, and you can just walk away and not say anything. The choice is yours. But the key here is to stop letting life just happen to you. You got to take a stand. You want to make more money? You got to get more jobs. You want to dress better? You got to work on your image. You want better skin? You got to start doing your nighttime routines. You want to look more moisturized? You got to start drinking more water. See, the power is within you. You can't just be a passive participant, sit around and drink alcohol and then think your skin is going to look supple and luscious. That's not going to happen. And when I say you must demand respect, you must demand your life. Certain people just can't run up in your life and treat you any type of way. And guess what? If they try to, they lose access to you. You're not messing with them no more. Okay? People have to learn. People have to have consequences. Okay? That's what I mean by demand your life and command your boundaries. If you say you don't like something, you have to stand on that. Okay? Because people are going to try you. That's what they do. Especially weird people. They want to inflict their pain onto you. They want to put their problems on you, okay? Because they don't want them. So, also, let me say this. Sometimes people will see you having a carefree life, or what they think is a carefree life, because everybody got something that they're dealing with. But some people will see your life as carefree. In their eyes, your life is carefree. And they'll think to themselves, this bitch ain't got no problems. Let me put some problems on her. Let me see what I can conjure up. There are people who really think like this. You got to open your eyes, okay? You look too unproblematic, like you just floating. And I'll prove it. When you're on a job and you look like you're not busy, people will start to put projects and assignments on you because you're too laid back. You're too laid back in the workplace. She needs something to do. That's a perfect example right there. And that's how weird people are standing back and looking at you. They're saying, she ain't got enough problems. Let me put this on her. Let me create some problems up in her life. So you gotta safeguard yourself. And I learned a long time ago that life is not gonna be fair. You just gotta be a better player at the game of life. Everyone is not out to get you, but most people are just on autopilot, repeating their learned patterns, and they lack self-awareness. But that's why it's your job to be proactive and not be a passive participant in your own life. You got to be right on top of it. You got to tell some people it's not going down like that. Okay? So the opposite of passive is active. You got to be an active participant in your life. You have to tell people, this is what I want. This is how I want to be treated. Or show them, this is what I want. Show them, this is how I have to be treated. Or you're not going to be able to deal with me. Okay? You have to make a plan to go get the life you want. If this is how you want to live, you got to make a plan and act on that plan. You have to say no to distractions or requests that are not aligned with the particular life that you want. Because think about it. If you were meant to be controlled, you would have been born with a remote. So confidence. Confidence is key. Confidence comes from knowing what you bring to the table. Like, if you know you a good friend, stop putting yourself around people who are not loyal. Stop hanging around sucky friends. If you are a good friend, you deserve to be around other people who are also a good friend. Also, confidence is quiet. It doesn't seek validation. So you don't have to go around here asking people, do you like this? Do you like that? Ask yourself, do you like it? Do you like it? Confidence shows in your actions. It's something that you can't fake. Confident people have boundaries. Or they'll tell you, this is not going down. Nah, I don't accept this. This is what we're not going to do. Confident people don't seek approval or are desperate for attention. And confident people don't shrink themselves to fit in or belong. It's just some stuff that confident people are going to walk away from. But see, weird people, they try to eat at that. They try to eat at that confidence. They see it and they don't like it. I've never met a weird person who had good confidence. That's one thing that weird people have in common. They lack confidence. That's why they're doing the dumb stuff that they do. That's why they're doing the shady stuff that they do, because they lack confidence. So they try to chip away at others. You see what I'm saying? And people are easy to read. I've been reading people since childhood. I'll tell you two things I notice about people. People are only acting shady and snarky with those people who they want to knock off of some sort of pedestal. Like if they see that you have a lot of confidence and you may know it as, oh, she thinks she cute, or she think that's she all that. Okay? If they see you in that light, and if that's what they're thinking about you, they will work hard to try to make snarky comments, try to shade you, try to do all the things to hurt you because they want to knock you off your pedestal. Also, people only insult those people who they are intimidated by. I don't care what you say. Some people might say, oh, well, she just speaks her mind. You're not going to hurt the feelings of anyone unless you are intimidated by that person. Because often people are going to tap dance around people without trying to hurt their feelings, okay? Unless they feel extremely intimidated by them, then that's when they're going to try to say all the things to hurt you. You have to ask yourself, are you a praise seeker? Because it's okay not to like people, and it's okay for people not to like you. Be real over being liked. And don't perform. And you have to know that you are not for everyone. I say it all the time. I'm not for everyone. Save your energy for the people that you do like. That's been a game changer. Just pouring energy into the people who I love and I like, and not necessarily wanting to even be spread thin to some of the people who show that they don't care for me. Everyone is not meant to like you, and vice versa. Actually, not liking everyone and accepting the fact that everyone doesn't like you is evolving. Okay? One of the important things to remember is not to let people bully you into oversharing. Because see, some people who don't care for you, they still want to know about you. And they will come around and try to get up in your business. And next thing you know, you done overshared and you felt like you said too much. And now it's too late. They know something. They're going to take it and they're going to run with it. But it's not too late in a sense that once you peep it, please stop. Please be aware. Don't get bullied into oversharing your business or your plans or your goals. Some people are always testing your tolerance for boundary crossing and disrespect. I deal with this often as a person that smiles a lot. I know I said it before. I'm just smiling, minding my business, and here somebody is getting smart or saying some slick stuff, and then I have to play cleanup. And this happens a lot with people, when they're around people who don't care for them. They're constantly saying slick things, and you're not on guard. Your guard is down. You just chilling. But if the people don't like you, again, like I said, they're out to try to knock you off of your pedestal and knock you off of your game, or the pedestal that they put you on. Let me say that. The pedestal that they put you on. So, the shady comments and the little slick stuff out the mouth is going to happen. And they expect to do it in peace. They don't want you to say anything. They don't want you to clock it. They don't want you to challenge them. They don't want you to ask them what they meant by that. So it's just all a big mess. You can avoid this just by staying away from people who don't care for you, because they're always, like I said, always going to test your tolerance for boundary crossing, and they're going to test you to see how much they can disrespect you. And it's exhausting is what it is. You have to be confident and strong standing in who you are, because people will come around you. They'll love what they see, and then they'll try to project things onto you that they feel bad about within themselves. I have so many examples of this, but it's a mental game, and we can talk more about that on the live, but it's a mental game that they play to try and knock you down a peg or to humble you. And if some folks can get you to buy into their game, they win. So refuse to be knocked down. People will build up a bum and knock you down. And it's like, but I'm doing better than that bum. They just don't want you to get the credit for it. It's all a game. It's all a game. So to save yourself and to save your sanity, let go of the desire to even be validated. Why do you need these other people's validation? Your own validation will suffice. And it's not even like you're being like an a-hole. It's just saying, this is what I will not tolerate. And if you don't like it, you can kick rocks. Because there's 3 types of people in this world. There are people who like you. There's people who don't like you. And then there's people who are indifferent towards you. They don't care. So I just say, once you find your tribe, that's the people who like you, who are not weird towards you, get with them and stick with them. Something else that I want to touch on is that we've got to stop trying to save everyone. Oftentimes we'll get entangled with weird people because we have good hearts and we're trying to save them. Sometimes you just got to realize this is not my ministry, and then learn how to identify what your ministry is. Who needs your help? What needs your help? Because it ain't this person and it ain't this situation. One of my friends used to be a paramedic, and she was telling us the story of when she saved an addict one day with Narcan, right? So the addict, had overdosed, and paramedics pulled up. Like I said, my friend was one of the paramedics, and she pulled out her Narcan. Everybody, did their efforts to save the person, and they ended up saving the person's life. She said when the person woke up, right, they got mad at her and all the other paramedics. And they woke up saying, "You ruined my high. You ruined my high. Oh, you effed up my high." That is a perfect example right there that you have to stop trying to save everyone. Everyone does not want to be saved. So what were they supposed to do in that situation? Just allow him to pass away? Would he have liked that better? Project Pat said it best. Don't save him. They don't want to be saved. And it all ties back in having respect for yourself and demanding your respect. See, me, I respect everyone off jump until someone gives me a reason not to. But a lot of people are not like that. They just don't have any respect for anyone because they don't have any respect for themselves. And even when I lose respect for someone, I'm not outwardly, blatantly disrespecting anybody because that's not my character. I just don't fool with them. If I don't respect someone or I don't have any respect for that person, I just don't fool with that person, okay? I don't deal with them. Respect is embodied, and people are constantly taking cues from you. Like I said, people are watching you. They want to know, or they want to see what you will take. Oh, can I go this far? Can I push this button? Can I do this? So set the tone, or others will. I'll say that again. Set the tone, or others will. How do you do things like that? Speak with authority, or play cleanup later. Like I said, if someone thinks you're a pushover, some of them going to try to push. And then when you stand up like, ho, 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 I'm not that one, then they're going to be shocked. But you're later left playing cleanup. This happened to me many a times where someone has thought I was a pushover. And then when they get cussed out, they looking crazy like, dang, where did that come from? Yeah, I'm not that one. Like, I might look nice. Quickly find out that I'm not the one. The 2, the 3, or the 4. Number 2, not explaining yourself to someone else or your decisions. Okay, this is what I can take. This is what I won't let fly. And not explaining that. Not overly explaining that, I should say. Everything don't need an explanation. Nah, I'm not with that. And that's just what it is. How firmly do you stand on your values? You don't need to fit in with everyone. Surprisingly enough, yes, some people, even at our big ages, still feel the need to fit in, so they'll laugh along. But if you stand firmly on your values and that's not something that you with or you don't think it's funny, you're not going to laugh and you're not going to agree with it. All right? Because laughing sometimes is the agreeance. Number 4 is don't compromise to be agreeable. Like, I'm not fitting to compromise my happiness and my state of mind just to be agreeable with you, and it's something that I can't get with. No. Find somebody else to do it. And number 5, make your boundaries your guidelines. Don't always be accommodating. Like, I'm not fitting to accommodate you if it disrespects or infringes on my boundaries. Like, I said no. That's just it. That's all. Protect yourself and enforce your boundaries. You want sort of a quiet authority. Now, you ain't got to be out here fussing people or, calling them outside their names, but Once you establish that quiet authority, people will respect you. They'll either adjust or they'll reveal themselves. That's what I say. It's been a couple of people in my life who they were really, really nice to me. And then they tried to infringe on my boundaries. And once I checked them, they revealed themselves. They stopped speaking to me. That's a reveal. That's saying that I only like you when you do what I say or when you do what I tell you to do. And you ain't my mama. You don't tell me what to do. So go ahead and reveal yourself. Okay, you stop speaking. You a Bama. Like, that's just, that's you. Thank you for revealing who you really are. So pay attention. Do you over-apologize? Do you soften your tone? Or do you speak up to people? Do you believe what you're saying? Or do you fawn for people? I talked about fawning on another episode that I did. People will respond to you based on how you carry yourself. You don't have to be agreeable and accommodating to everyone. I could say that a million times. You don't. You don't. Oftentimes, women think that they do. Oh, but they're going to think that this is offensive. So, I'm offended that they asked or they even tried it. What about me feeling offended? Does that matter? Your feelings matter too now. So don't just go around bouncing around thinking that you have to be agreeable to everybody. They don't like you, so what? I'm a perfect example of that. There are people who do not like me, and I am still being me. They didn't rock no boat over here, because I do understand that we're living in a world where some people are going to like you, some people are not going to like you. And then you got those group of people, like I said, who don't even care about you. They're like, who? I don't feel no way about her, because I don't think about her. The takeaway here is sometimes you're agreeable and accommodating to the detriment of you. And you're doing it at the expense of your own needs. And that's not cool. So ask yourself these questions. Are my needs important? Or are you saying yes to just avoid discomfort? You have to understand that you will be questioned and tested, especially by weird people, because they do not take no for an answer. And like I said, weird people are often entitled. They are entitled people who think they should have this just because. You shouldn't have it. They want it. You shouldn't have to fight for respect. It should follow you. So make sure you're walking in your purpose, because it's certain stuff that you should just not entertain. And spend more time with those who show you respect. Like I said, those are going to be your people. Spend your time with people who are not weird with you. Those are the people who like you. Those people who you never have to question, because they're never saying anything smart or trying to intentionally hurt you or throw shade or do little underhanded things. Those are your people. Now back to these compliments. Compliments are great. Love compliments. I'm not saying that I don't like them. But what I'm saying is to stay sane amongst the weird. You can't let the compliments make you, because then the criticisms will break you. Please don't soak in and just absorb whatever people say, because often if they're being weird, they use the compliments and the criticisms to control you. So they may take you on a roller coaster ride up and down. Like 1 minute you may feel like they like you, and then boom, oh, I don't think they like me very much. And it's very exhausting. So I think the takeaway here is that weird people like control. Weird people think that they are entitled to your time, your business, and everything that you have just because. But they don't. So there are ways that you can avoid the weird. And as I said, they are out here, okay? We are living in some times where weird folks are running rampant. And it's really heartbreaking to be in relationship with someone. I'm talking about platonic or friend or just relationship wise. Like romantic lovers. Like, you could be in a relationship with someone nowadays and, the red flags are constantly there. But you like them, you like the person, so you're overlooking the red flags. And then boom, the red flags become so prominent that you can no longer ignore them. Like, they're sticking out. They're waving. Where red flags are waving. And then you clock it, you wake up, and you're like, this person is weird. And then starts your journey. So I tend to have this conversation come up a lot because there are lots of weird people in this world. Are there people in this world who are not weird? Yes. And when you find those people, you are very blessed. But the weird folks are going to have an agenda. And they're not just going to have an agenda and go about their business. They're going to have an agenda for you. Somehow they want to involve you in their shenanigans. Somehow seeing you at rest and unbothered, it's just not enough for them. It's not enough for them. They have to find some way to include you in it. And that is why it is so important to take these tips and hold on to them and refer back to them even, because you got to know that you deserve protection, okay? You're just not out here for anyone to use and manipulate and get around and be dealt with like a puppet on a string. You're not here for that. God did not put you on this earth for that reason. Now, I don't know what your purpose is, but I can tell you it's not that. It's not to be used and manipulated by another person, a weird person at that. So rest assured that weird people have their place. And if you are smart, it will be outside of you. Keep them on the outside looking in. Safeguard yourself like a gated community. Everybody can't get in. You can't just let everybody in, particularly those who are not used to nice things, because people who have not had to work hard or put in their blood, sweat, and tears to get nice things, if the nice thing is just handed to them on a platter, they're not going to know what to do with it. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to trash it. I've seen this with properties, with vehicles, even with rooms, okay? If a person did not have to put in the work for it and it's just handed to them, they're not going to know what to do when they get it because they're not used to nice things. You are that nice thing, okay? Think about it. If you've been running into trash people all of your life, everybody else has had that experience as well. So genuine people are rare. So you would think that once they come across this genuine person, they would handle them with care and they would value their friendship or value their relationship, but they just don't, because they don't know what to do with it. Okay? These are weird people that we're talking about. You may know what to do with it. I know what to do with it. When I come across a person who is valuable and rare and I consider them a friend, I'm going to hold them close. I'm going to hold them close because I know how it is to be out here in the trenches with people who don't have any good intention for you. But everybody's not like that. They're going to fumble you. So for that particular reason, you have to safeguard your own self. I say don't put a wall up, put a gate up. And only allow access to those who you trust. Because see, you can see through a gate. Often people put a wall up and don't want to be bothered, and they isolate themselves. Now you can't see through that wall. No one can see through that wall. And guess what? Same time, you can't see outside of that wall. Okay? But a gate, you can see in, you can see out, they can see in. You can see, but you don't have to get full access until you feel safe. And with that said, y'all be safe. Don't forget to tune in to YouTube and TikTok every Wednesday for Weird Bitch Wednesdays. Bitch, BITCH, is an acronym for Bums in the Cut Hating. I'll be addressing your situations and questions, breaking them down. Everything is anonymous unless you say otherwise. Have you encountered a confusing person or situation? Has someone started acting strange with you out of nowhere? Is someone giving you mixed signals? This can be in dating, friends, family, co-workers, etc. Send it on over to me at kluxcoaching@gmail.com or click the contact link in the description box. I may feature your story in an upcoming video. If you are ready to move on from a weird situation, be it friendship or romantic, and you don't know exactly how to begin, then purchase my ebook, Bouncing Back After Breakup, a guide to moving on after friendship and romantic breakups. I break down each step for you for the affordable price of only $15. Once you purchase the ebook, it is yours to keep forever and it doesn't expire. Just click the ebook link in the description box below. If it's one-on-one coaching from me that you're looking for, let's talk. My coaching is super affordable at only $50 a session for 40 minutes. Rewire your nervous system to accept more joy, rediscover your passions, or let's discuss what you're dealing with so we can explore solution-oriented approaches from my unbiased standpoint. This link is also in the description box below. See you there.